This week on Convincing Idiots, we are talking about Cheech and Chong having their final movie. And then we're going to talk about YouTube having its anniversary. It's been 25, 200 years. Who knows? We're going to let you know. And then our question of the week. It's been all around the internet, and we're going to discuss it. Can 100 men defeat a silverback gorilla? And then our main event. Ooh, we get into the most likable villains in pop culture. Did you make the list? Well, there's only really one way to find out. To continue to listen. So, without further ado, let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial,
I'm Brian Jennings.
and the silence that you hear from here on out is Nicholas. We are
Mm-hmm.
maybe for the time being. We'll see how the rest of the show turns out. But as of right now, we will start without him. He is either crying in his beer over the Leafs, or he has his pants around his ankles, cheering on their success. But until then, Brian, it's just you and me.
That is right. So we'll do Nick's job here first, Dean, and tell you who we are and all that good stuff here. So we're a podcast of friends from different generations talking all things nerd and pop culture each and every week. You might be listening to us on podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we could be found Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, etc. Just give us a free follow or subscribe, and we will pop into your podcast feed free of charge every week. You might be watching us on our YouTube channel at Convincing Idiots, or our YouTube music channel.
Look at our pretty asses.
That's right. All show information can be found in two main places. Just simply Google Linktree Convincing Idiots for our Linktree page. Just simply a page that links to our stuff. And go to one place, go to the website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. All show information's there. Bios, merch store, ways to sponsor the show, all that good stuff. If you do anything at all, tell a friend, keep listening, keep watching, and we appreciate your support.
You're like our jock strap. We need you to support us. Hold us up like the nut sacks that we are.
That's right. That's right. So, Dean, what are you having this evening? What is your
Dude,
what do you call it? A show pop last time we were here?
Way pop, but I like show pop. For my
Mhm.
show pop, I'm going old school, baby. I got Coors Banquet.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
The bandit would be proud.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
Just need to shave off the beard, just keep the mustache. We're going to be all set.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm still working through some delicious, nutritious Conway's Irish Ale from Great Lakes Brewing Company in local Cleveland, Ohio. So great Irish
Yes.
ale. Yes, indeed. All right.
We took last week off, Brian, and Nick's
Yes, we
not
did.
here. What do we got for headlines? I don't know if we missed a whole. I don't think a lot happened last week, but what do we got for headlines this week?
Yeah, I got a couple of things here, Dean. So there is let's say Cheech Chong. There's going to be a new, was it here, documentary or something like that. So it's going to be Cheech Chong's last movie.
That's going to be the title.
Yes.
Okay.
So longtime Cheech and Chong fans or those who want to learn more about them can see them reunite on the screen for Cheech and Chong's last movie. It's going to be released nationwide. I guess it'll be this Friday. So it's a documentary. So it says it has never before seen footage from them as the two take another road trip, this time spanning 5 decades of their ultimately widely successful careers, which included platinum albums and box office fame. So the Up in Smoke was, gosh, it was back at like 1978, something like that was their first movie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So, yeah, so just Cheech and Chong fan, Dean, were you a fan of these guys? Did you watch their movies?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
quite your thing?
No,
What do you
I
think?
enjoyed them. What high school kid didn't? I think that was like a rite of passage, same as like listening to ECDC. If you were a white kid in America, you had a Cheech and Chong ACDC span in your childhood or your teenage years. So yeah, I enjoyed them.
Yeah, those are movies that, me growing up, now gosh, this is probably early teens for me. Too young to watch it. You sort of you understood what was going on. Yeah, I never.
That was because that was during the silent movie era, right?
Sure, that's right. Just another one of those movies. There's a population of movies for guys that are my age, Gen X guys that were on cable, like on HBO or Star Channel or Movie Channel, whatever we had back then. But there's probably we shouldn't have been watching them.
Sure. Oh,
but
yeah.
There's no way for our parents to monitor if we had cable in your room.
And importantly, it was the 70s and 80s. They didn't care. That was the other side of that coin.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, they locked us out of the house until it got dark and bears started attacking.
Sure.
So
I don't recall my parents even asked what I was watching. I don't even. I had no clue. No clue. So so they were some of those movies back then. It was good.
When we were kids, the neighbors would come over. They had a son my age, and they would come over like on Friday nights, and the two families would sit down and watch a movie. Well, my dad and mom or whatever, they went to the video store, and they picked out a movie for the two families to watch. And it wasn't, they didn't know what this movie was. They just looked on the cover, and they saw a pair of lips and a cool sounding title called Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Right? So I remember, laying on my belly with my hands up under my chin and my knees up, and this coming on and just being so goddamn confused on what I'm watching and turning around, and the parents being so uncomfortable. They were all looking at each other side-eyed of like, oh shit, what is this? And then I think one of them said, if you guys are bored with this, you kids could go play. And all of us like, sure, all right. So we got up and ran out, and I'm sure they were relieved as shit. So yeah. So that is the 80s and 90s in a nutshell for me.
Yes indeed. Yeah, and certainly Cheech Marin, he went on to he had a pretty good run He's certainly with other movies.
Mm-hmm.
He had it was on that Tango and Nash, right, with Don Johnson for a while.
Was it Nash Bridges?
Nash Bridges.
Nash Bridges. He was the sidekick in Nash Bridges.
That's it. That's
for many
right.
years. Now that was for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, very very good run. So it's good to see them get back together and celebrate their life.
Show for a while.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yes, he was.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, he ended up in jail. I don't know, maybe taxes or something like that. But for a little bit. But they each of them had their own viable careers on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. 20 years ago, Dean, YouTube began. So it was a 19-second video called Me at the Zoo. It was uploaded by one of its founders. And that video has now achieved it's on its way to more than 20 billion videos total.
That all of them combined that's been posted.
Yes. Yes, it's home to more than 20 billion videos. That number was updated. It was previously 20 trillion. So 20 billion videos all began.
And only a handful were fucking watching.
That's about right. Of course, we're one of them. We're one of the channels that's worth a damn.
That were the only videos that are worth watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, so are you on YouTube, Dean? What do you think of that medium? What are your thoughts on YouTube?
Well, remember Cy Sperling for the Hair Club for Men in the 90s? I'm not just the president, but I'm also a client. We're not just on this channel. I watch it quite regularly. When I'm at home and I'm not watching, whatever cable TV, first things I pull up on my TV apps is YouTube to check out. I have a list of channels that I subscribe to, and I scroll down, see if anybody's got anything new or interesting. So, yeah, it's actually one of my main sources of entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you
certainly
or is it just kind of a random thing?
It's kind of a random thing for me. It's there's a few channels I'll seek out every so often. Like I do like the Daily Show. Yeah. I like to catch their videos there. I do like you could catch monologues of the late night talk show hosts, Jimmy Kimmel and others. Sure. That's kind of nice. And then like special interest. I know you like New Rock Stars when there's a new
Screen Rant.
Yeah, those types of things. But yeah, I don't seek it out like you do as far as if I'm looking for something to watch necessarily. But you can. I guess that's sort of the point there.
I think the idea is for me, I could turn on, an hour drama that I've been watching, and now I have to focus. When I can turn on a 15-minute video to get a new update on what upcoming Marvel movies happening, and it's going to be a quick, easier thing. I don't have to 1,000%, focus on what the inners and out of everything that's happening. So it's easier that way, I think.
Yeah, and I think certainly one of the. I don't know that the founders were even thinking of this originally, but certainly one of the most fascinating things about that is if you want to learn virtually anything. There is so much out there from I want to know how to change a headlamp of a 1978 whatever. Someone probably has a video. Sure. Someone probably has a video.
Yep.
Certainly cooking, learning, instrument. I mean, it is just a plethora out there of educational videos, which is astounding.
One of the former things that I used to do was I was a maintenance guy for a company. And honestly, I took the job really not knowing shit about shit. And the majority of things that I did, projects that I did, I was watching YouTube videos to fucking do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I learned the majority of shit I know is from YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. For visual learners, it's just just astounding.
Yeah.
So
Because you could hit the
I think it's just a
button and
yeah.
let me go back over that again type deal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You know, the ads are a little annoying, listen at you, but it's not like overwhelming. It's okay.
We're from the 80s and 90s. In fact, ads were the only thing we knew. These kids, and not even kids, it's more annoying that we get annoyed by them.
Right.
At least kids
Right.
don't know what we knew. We've just become spoiled shits at this point to complain about ads. First of all, you and me, in particular, doing this, knowing that ads are part of the deal. You have videos, you have ads, you have a show, you have
Mhm.
ads. Like for us, promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Of course.
Blake Insurance Group here. Let me tell you about them, Brian. It's an independent agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio, offering personal care and support for all of your insurance needs. If you need auto, home, business, or life insurance, give Aaron a call. He's gonna treat you with the honesty and respect and the care that you deserve.
Mhm.
You want to call the Blake Insurance Group at 234-571-5359 or find them online at blakeinsurancellc.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell them that the ad is working for your boys at Convincing Idiots.
That's right. Very good. New Star Wars show, Dean. So season 2, highly acclaimed show on Disney Plus. It's very highly rated. Some people say it's one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars content in a long time. Maybe next to Mandalorian, some other things out there. Andor. So it's doing well. Are you watching it? What do you think?
Yet. I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I just haven't got to it yet. I've been busy. We have baseball and softball for the kids. It's been taking up the majority of time for the next month, 2 months. So I will get to it. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. We're just not there yet. Have you seen it yet?
I have watched the first couple episodes.
Okay. What do you think?
Very good. It's good. Very good. So if you don't know the storyline, no spoilers here, but it gives you the backstory of how the rebellion got started against the Empire. So it's kind of a slow burn. So if you're like, I just want to see, nonstop action, I don't want to necessarily get into the storytelling, whatever, probably not for you, frankly. But if you like it just walks you through. It's a believable story in the sense of you can see how a group of people, if you get together and unite around a single cause, the power that you can create to rise up against whatever, So, and then I like the nuances as well of it gives you an insight to. There's people that work for the Empire, for example, just a job. It's a job for them. It's like they don't necessarily have a cause or anything like that. They just go in as a research or a data person or something like that. They're just sort of cogs in the wheel as an employer. They go in and do their thing and leave. You get to see some people in the Empire kind of rise up to power and everything, how they work their way up and all that. Go ahead.
I'm slightly confused here. Are you talking about the Star Wars universe or America today?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what some people say too. It's why it's more popular.
Sure,
because certainly it's very relatable in our current political climate. Huh?
We don't have to sit through this shit.
That's right. Yeah, but so if you haven't seen it out there, check out Andor season 2. Matter of fact, just watch season 1 as well. Yeah, it builds up to it nicely.
So good.
Absolutely, and we all know where it's going. I mean, we all know that the end it's going to roll into Rogue One, the storyline, which ends with the Death Star taking the Death Star plans and takes you in the original trilogy and all that stuff. So you know where it's going, but very, very good. Very, very good character building and everything else. So good stuff. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Social gatherings getting more popular. Book clubs, Dean. Book clubs are becoming more and more
Okay.
popular these days, where folks are looking for ways to get together, and book clubs are becoming more popular again. So folks are getting together in person. They're getting together virtually.
Okay.
And of course, the whole idea is, the group picks a book, and then you have some discussion topics, and you get together to socialize,
Yeah.
talk about what you read, get together, and it's it's a good thing. So, never in a book club. I don't know.
Never been
What do you
one.
think about?
I'm not opposed to it. I like the
Mhm.
idea. I mean, anytime we can get together socially, regardless of the reasoning, it's just a different
Sure.
reasoning. It's kind of like, in fact, this is almost a pop culture book club for the three of us every week. It's a reason.
Well, in a sense, it is.
It's a reason to get together and bullshit, and then we just happen to talk about whatever topic. People get together and do the same thing, and their topic is that book that they read. So it's
Right.
it's not much different. We're just vain enough to think people want to fucking hear this. So that's the only difference.
I think that's the point. Like you said, is find a reason, whatever it is, to set time aside. However, whether you do it weekly or monthly, whatever it is you're doing, any kind of club you want to do, any type of special interest. Exactly what you said. The whole idea is getting together with friends with a common interest, socializing, and just otherwise, time goes by. Next thing you know, you haven't seen anybody in weeks and
Exactly.
months, and it's very easy to do.
Get together
Very
once
easy to
a
do.
week
So
and pick a topic. You could
Sure.
all get together and talk about how your cat pisses in places that it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And there's many different topics you could choose. That was just weirdly one random thing that I pulled off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, if you get together for a book club, of course, first book will be the the podcast book that you guys made me for about myself for
I think we
Christmas.
should do that. I think
Yes. Mm-hmm.
there,
Yeah.
there needs to be thinking about that now. That needs to be a topic that we broach here. I think it's been long enough. I think we should go through some of that stuff. So
yeah, I agree. We'll roll a little sub book club within the show, something like that. We'll figure it out. Martin Short, one of our favorite actors, Dean, is of course very popular with Only Murders in the Building with the great Steve Martin and Selena Gomez. One of our favorite shows. I know that. More seasons to come there, and he's been going on the road with Steve Martin. They've done certainly comedy shows and all of that. He will be joining the game show host ranks coming up here soon, Dean. So they're going to relaunch the match game with Martin Short as the host.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might remember they launched it again back in 2016 through 2022 with Alec Baldwin as the host. You might remember. So, summertime networks they put they get some new content out there.
How long did it
What's
last?
that?
How long did it last with Alec Baldwin?
8 years. So it ran from 2016, 6 years, 2016 to 2022.
Okay, so he took his shot.
Yeah, absolutely. That was canceled when he got into the legal trouble with the the movie set and everything, where he kind of accidentally killed somebody. But
there was the joke. He took his shot.
Now I get it.
Not funny if you have to explain it.
Yeah, you're right. I kind of stepped all over that one. No, but it will be starting with Martin Short soon. I don't know that it has the exact date here just yet. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
I think Martin Short's certainly very entertaining, and he fits in with that.
he just
It's kind
seems
of a
like he would be the perfect host for anything, really.
yeah. And that show's got some racy questions and
Right.
undertones and different things like that. So I think he fits that well. So good for Martin Short.
No, I say good for us.
Oh, that's true.
The public watching. Good for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I know he's like, maybe, if you compare Martin Short to us, it's probably, Nick, Martin Short, you and I are probably close after that, as far as level of entertainment,
Right. Well, you have to show up to be entertaining.
Well, that is true. That is true. So if Nick does join us, he's either going to be very happy or very sad, depending on the outcome of the Leafs game.
Leafs just won 4-2, so.
So they finally get past the first round here.
First round.
Finally get past the first round. Okay, well, if he does join, we're going to see a happy Nick.
That's right.
I like that. Well, we talked about YouTube. We talked about some social media there. Now you found there's a question out there, Dean, that's flying all over. Why don't you talk about that? It'll be our Ask an Idiot question of the week. Go ahead.
Found is an understatement. This has been all over. I think it was first asked on X, and it has moved on to different podcasts and YouTube's channels and shows. Our question of the week is no different from what the question's been for the week, for the past week. It is, can 100 men beat hand-to-hand combat a one silverback gorilla? They have gone as far as they've analyzed. They've had there's AI predictions. There's AI has produced videos to show this. But the question, honestly, really is, can 100 men hand-to-hand combat beat one silverback gorilla? Now, Brian, have you ever seen I saw one video, it was a real life video from a zoo of two silverback gorillas fighting each other. Watching that video, there's no other answer if you see this video. I understand the weight and magnitude of 100 men. But sweet Jesus, these things are real life monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked up some of this here. So I guess a silverback gorilla can lift it could lift 1,000 pounds potentially.
Sure.
So,
you're going to have sacrifices, right? You're going to have, the first 20 guys will be dead. And I'm giving the hypothetical as a way that the men could win. Is at least 20 to half of them are going to be killed. And then you've got to count that the gorilla is going to get tired, or that you're going to overcome it. You have no tools, you have no weapons. This is by hand.
Yeah, how would you possibly be able to do anything unless it gets tired, like you said?
Right. You would. There would have to be strategy. You would have to have you're getting this arm, you're getting this arm. And when I say I'm not saying it as in one guy. You 20 go after this arm. You 20 go after. Strategy is what you would count on. The human brain strategizing this fight. But if you all just bum rush this gorilla, he's going to just stomp you like Donkey Kong, just fists and just smash you like Hulk. Yeah. What say you? What strategy do you think that you would need to defeat the gorilla?
I don't even know how you'd be able to, even if you somehow were able to overpower it a little bit. What would you even be able to? Are you talking about trying to kill it, or just simply win a fight?
That's a good question because, like, what is considered winning?
Yeah, maybe he just gives up. Maybe you can just say that. Maybe it just gives up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
because if you're going killing, because like he's going to kill you. So I mean, if it is death for death, he's going to kill all 100 of you. And the first few that fight him, that he comes upon, that he kills, are just going to make him more angry for the next set of people coming.
Right. Then you got to figure, even no matter how gung ho everybody is initially, you're going to watch that gorilla just kick the shit out of some guys and kill them, probably in one swipe.
Yeah.
And then you might start to rethink and hesitate, and then that puts you also at a disadvantage there. So I don't know. I mean, just sheer power. I don't know how without weapons.
Because all right,
I don't know what you'd be able to do.
Say if it is killing, right? You at some point have to figure out how to, because they're not like short animals. It's not like you can you could jump on his back and hope to like choke him out, maybe. And like I don't honestly know the width, the circumference of a gorilla's neck, so I don't know if that's even physically possible.
Yeah, it seems like he would just swat you off like a fly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the musculature of its legs, it's not like you could chop block his knee and take it down. You're gonna come up and go for the knee, and he's just gonna turn around and fucking donkey kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sheer muscle animal. I mean,
and with just animal instinct to live.
Yeah.
And
the teeth. Yeah, the teeth for that matter too. I mean, he can bite you.
Talking about the teeth yet.
Yeah.
He can start popping off people's fucking heads like their Barbie doll heads.
Yeah. So how many men? So I've seen other scenarios there too. The 100 is what I've seen, like you said.
Yeah.
But then I've seen other ones also. I mean, somebody ran one. It was like 1 million men versus 10,000 gorillas, and that wasn't even close.
Right.
It wasn't even close. That simulation. But so let's keep it to one. How many men would it require to finally overcome one silverback gorilla? Do you think? Is it 1,000?
I don't think 1,000. I think given the two factors for me are the gorilla needs to get tired, and you need to have strategy as human beings and the human brain, right? So I think 500. I will say 500.
500
could get you to the evenness of those two equations.
Okay. Well, you would just fight him to tire him out, and he just sort of gives up, and it's a draw at that point. Is that what you're saying? He just lost the fight?
I'm saying, and again, I'm still not 100% certain that he couldn't kill all 500 of you. I'm saying is if the 500 is where you start to have a chance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm in this question. I'm ultimately going with the gorilla. It's kind of like the Doctor Strange thing. Out of the 2 million whatever scenarios he saw, there was only one win. One way to win. I have the same thing for the humans. There's one way to win, and it is strategy based. But I don't. It is so far off that gorilla can't outpower your strategy, and which I ultimately think he would. He would kill those 100 men.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm team gorilla also.
Same.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not like it's a dumb animal either.
Not at all.
So
it will learn as it goes as well.
Yeah. One of the funniest things I ever saw at the Cleveland Zoo, Dina, this is several years ago. They had the gorillas up there in like a glass area. Now this is the prior. Now they have a nice new gorilla habitat thing where it's a lot more room for them to roam and everything, which is great. This was a smaller one at the time here, And I walked into the facility, and there's this big crowd of people around the glass, big crowd. And this gorilla was just sitting right in the front, just right in front of the glass, just looking and just surveying people, just going back and forth, eyes moving.
Every one of them in his head.
And just kept surveying the crowd. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just punches the glass. It was like a wave of people just myself included.
Shit out of. Oh yeah, who wouldn't?
He was just looking, popped that glass once, it didn't move, watched the reaction, and just went right back to his just. It's like, who is observing who?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We had the same.
But
we had the same thing when we were kids at the Akron Zoo, where we're all gorilla. He wouldn't like face forward. He was kind of doing it off his thing. You kind of see a profile, and he just kind of gently looking over at us, and he looks over at my dad, and just gives him the middle finger. It was the greatest goddamn thing. He just gave my dad the middle finger.
That's pretty good.
My fucking dad loved that. He talked about that for years.
See, they're not so.
Yeah.
Intelligent animal.
That's right.
Intelligent animal. That's for sure. All right. All right. Well, we want to hear from you. How many would 100 men possibly defeat one silverback gorilla? If you think no, then how many men? Hand to hand. Yes. Well, we'll get one more opinion.
To the victor comes the spoil.
All right.
On to the next round, boys. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
That.
Leafs. Yes.
Leafs on to the next round. Let's go.
Very good.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Vic, how many years since it's been they got out of the first round? Not
It
being
has
mean.
been 2 years ago.
2 years.
2 years ago was the last time they got out of the first round. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been a minute. More so, this core of Maple Leafs have been together. This is the 9th season now, and they've always made the playoffs, but they always lose in the first round. And they were up 3-0 immediately against a team who's missed the playoffs for the last 8 consecutive seasons. So this is a new a young team, new to the playoff for the first time in a while. And so the idea of them potentially fucking that up would have been the most catastrophic thing I could even write if it were like a novel. So yeah. So cheers, boys. I figured I would save my celebratory shot after every playoff victory till I was on the show. So
Spectacular.
as I like to count down here, that is takes 16 wins to get to the cup.
Well, you know what? You know what? How about you
buddy? Let's go,
Let's
bud.
go.
Freaking right.
Okay,
How about-
go ahead.
Let's go.
how about you save that shot till we come back from the break,
Okay.
and I will have a shot with you. I will get my shot glass, and I think Brian might have the ability to do so as well.
There you go.
I love it. Let's do it.
But real quick, Brian, Nick, can you answer our idiot question of the week?
Yes, maybe.
We just finished the discussion. It's been all over the internet. Could 100 humans beat one silverback gorilla in hand-to-hand combat?
So I've thought about this, and I've listened to debates about this, and the more I've actually thought quite in depth about this.
Yep.
Is it possible for them to? Yes. It is possible. But it would require a lot. And I don't know what you guys have already covered or not, but a silverback gorilla would probably, is it 100 men?
100 men.
In order for 100 men to win, so a silverback gorilla would probably, there would be mass casualties. A silverback gorilla would probably take out 60 to 70. It would like murder dismembered human men. So the thing that comes into play is, are these men, these 100 men, there's also the human factor to where, like, do they have the ability to even stomach being, like, beaten with the dismembered,
Right.
appendages of the other men? Like, it would be so brutal.
The biggest guy in the group, pick him up and beat the rest with it.
Yeah, it would be so brutal and catastrophic for the human men that it would require, like, some seriously, like, emotionally detached human men in order to pull that off, and they would have to have the longevity to carry on in a fight like that, because eventually the silverback gorilla would wear down.
Sure.
But again, it would require a lot of coordination and stamina from those 100 human men. So, is it possible to? Is it possible to? Yes. Do I think they would? No.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yep. So we also asked the question: how many men would it take? Do you think to overpower one silverback? You don't have to kill it necessarily, but to overpower it to where it was just not going to fight anymore. Thoroughly defeated.
Plan of attack is key. If you get, like, fucking our powwow to, like, everybody sit in a room and go, here's what we're gonna do, and you can, tactically organize an attack plan, you got a better chance. Because ideally you take as many people as humanly possible to jump on the gorilla together, and then everybody kind of, multiple guys on an arm, multiple guys on a leg, and then you do what you can with that. But if you're just like, okay, silverback gorilla's in a cage, the thing opens, fucking 100 guys are in a cage, like gladiator style, the cage opens and they go, so many guys are going to just fucking be brutally dismembered and massacred. It would be insane.
And like Brian said earlier, imagine the psychological effects of the guys in the back row that has even gotten just watching the blood and the horror happen. It's like, now it's my turn.
Yeah.
All right.
The doom that almost certainly awaits you.
Right. I kind of want to watch it. Not gonna lie, I'd give it a run.
Yeah.
There you go.
Save the 100 men and just send 3 basement dwelling podcasters and 2 basement dwelling, 1 living room dwelling podcasters, and all we got to do is figure out a way to wrangle some headphones on the gorilla, and he'll tap out.
Oh yeah. He'll probably hear my jokes and, like, fall down with laughter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He'll be immobilized by your sheer comedy.
Right.
So what if there are 100 clones of Austin Matthews now?
Well, I'd take 3 Austin Matthews over a silverback gorilla. Yeah. Austin Matthews, key tonight, had a goal in captaining the Maple Leafs. Birthday boy William Nylander here with 2 goals and an assist to put the Leafs over the hump. So I do you one better. Give me 1 William Nylander, 1 Austin Matthews.
That's
over a silverback gorilla.
There you go.
We're going to need all we can against Florida, so here we go.
All right, boys, we're going to take a break then, have a celebratory shot.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into our main topic, another villainous topic this evening. And we'll tell you about that right after the break.
Let's go.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell 2 enemies.
Five, 4, 3.
And welcome back to our final segment of episode 239 of Convincing Idiots. I'm Millennial Nick. Had a couple drinks. Millennial Neeks. Had a couple drinks.
Why did you have so many drinks, Neek?
I had some drinks. I'm celebrating a victory. I'm here with Gen X Brian and Jaw Smith, the Zennial Dean. And we, because my brothers here are very kind and also are alcoholics like myself, we are going to celebratorily drink a drink together on behalf of the Toronto Maple Leafs
Well, we
playoff
said
victory.
what we're drinking. What are you guys shooting?
Yeah, I've got my bottle of Wayne Gretzky's number 99 whiskey. It is fantastic. I have this specifically during the playoffs. I'm going to need another bottle from the motherland pretty soon here. But yeah, that's what I'm having.
I'm
Brian,
doing
what are you drinking?
Woodford Reserve.
Nope, I want to know what Brian's drinking.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, Nick got me this bottle a while ago, and I'm still working through it. It's not the kind I drink all the time. When I do, it's a sipper. It's a Squirrel peanut butter whiskey. So I do enjoy it, and that's what I'm having now in honor of Nick in my Cleveland Cavaliers
There we go.
shot glass here.
Also,
yes.
first round victors. Yes.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
doing the Browns.
There we
Yep,
go.
and they're victors.
No. First round draft victors, maybe?
I don't know about that.
This year, we're manifesting it right now. All these underdog teams are
Here we
winning first round
Mhm.
series. The Browns are going to do it this year too.
Yes,
Let's do
indeed.
it.
What
All
are you
right, boy.
drinking? I'm sorry, I missed yours.
Oh, Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve. All right, boys, here we go. For the Leafs, we got 4 down.
Leafs.
4 down. It takes 16 to win the cup. So 4 down, 12 to go. Go Leafs,
There you
go.
go.
Cheers, boys. Here we go. On to the
Cheers.
next round. Fascinating content for everyone to listen to.
We
Yes,
go.
indeed.
Just taking a drink. Yes, thank you very much. All right, thank you for indulging me. So for our final segment this evening, we are discussing most likable villains. Okay.
Mhm.
So, Dean, who would you like to start us out for most likable villains?
I sure would. Mine seemed kind of like a layup. He went from being the big bad to a few movies and kind of having a redemption arc in his own TV series. I'm going with Loki,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
good
that's a great one. Yep,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
sure.
I think Tom Hiddleston was the perfect actor for the role. He has even when he was like at his worst, Loki, he was charming in a way. He had a set of charm to him, which was, I mean, could you really hate somebody that handsome? Ultimately,
No,
so Loki.
that's why we can't totally hate you, Dean.
Oh, thank you.
Even at your worst, you're so damn handsome.
And I'm at my worst a lot.
You're always showing so much chest. It's hard to hate someone showing
We are getting into the summertime.
showing that much chesticle.
Mhm. Yeah, each week it's like you gain a minute of daylight until the summer solstice, and then Dean, we just get one button lower.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Each
That's
week.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Till you
This
just
week you get an eighth of a nip. Next week you get a quarter of a nip.
That's right.
it's really a reason to keep coming back to the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's like the moon cycle, kind of.
I keep coming every time I watch our YouTube channel.
As you should.
Nick, go
Brian?
ahead. What do you got?
Oh, me?
Hey, go ahead.
Okay. I just came up with my list after we took our shot, so I'm going to start off with the Joker, and specifically Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not because he had really any redeeming qualities. Not to say that it was there's no moral reasons other than you understood. There's a little. I like to think there's a little bit of anarchist in everyone. He was so, I guess, like anti establishment, anti the system. He didn't want. You couldn't reason with him with money or power. He didn't want any of that. He, like I said, some men just want to watch the world burn, and I kind of admired that. He wasn't out for personal gain. This version of the Joker, he was not out for personal gain. He was simply there to prove a point and kind of just bring some type of level playing field to society, in a sense. So, like, the Heath Ledger Joker is certainly one of the most likable villains to me, and it was like like I said, morally speaking, it's not a good pick. It's not the right pick, but I admired at least his. What's the saying is every villain is a hero in their own story, and
Sure.
he was serving his purpose and doing what he felt was fair or just.
Sometimes you have to
and
respect
proving that there was no justice.
Sometimes you have to respect the conviction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Heath Ledger Joker, specific. There's many different renditions of the Joker, but the Heath Ledger Joker was just, like I said, was something a little different. So he was the first one that came to my mind.
Yeah, that was going to be first on my list too, Nick. So I'll
okay.
replace. No, it's okay. I'll replace him. But
Sack of shit.
You're right. The Joker has
Just come on the show unannounced. Didn't even think you'd be here. Take my fucking pick.
That's
Show
all
up
right.
drunk.
Well, that's such a good one though. The Joker has such very dark versions in the comics and everything, where he's definitely not a likable version in some of these storylines, like the Killing Joke and some other ones. But you're right, that particular version is just phenomenal to see when he burns the money in front of everybody just to prove a point. Got half their money just burning up in front of them, to show that I don't care about this. You guys all care about the money,
Yeah.
And I live by that mantra he said in the movie as well. What doesn't kill you only makes you stranger.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff. So I'll replace the Joker with this villain has become one of my many annual holiday viewing. Always enjoy the performance of this guy here. His first major motion picture role, and what a debut for Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber in Die Hard. So just a very evil dude, but just you can't help but kind of like him in some respects in that movie, especially when he blows away the dickhead guy that comes in as talking about 60 Minutes and trying to negotiate the deal and everything like that, and but just such a good performance by Alan Rickman in that movie. Fantastic. So humorous, smart. I mean, what's there to say? So great villain, very likable.
Just the idea of how exhausted he was just with everything, right? Like he wasn't like, the typical bad guy in movie that's, gung-ho and he's going to, like he was tired of his people. He was tired of the people he had to deal with. Can we just fucking get this over with?
Mm-hmm.
I had the plan and you assholes just need to do your jobs. God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that was to me a part of his likability.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And he can't help but smile when he says, "What did you say? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!"
Right. Motherfucker. He was so great.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's my first.
Right. My number 2, I would like to give you guys and tell you guys who it is, but I'm not allowed to talk about him. My number 2 is Tyler Durden from Fight Club.
Aha.
Tyler Durden was a piece of shit, regardless if he was real or not. Tyler Durden was the mastermind of blowing up a whole system, kind of like the Joker. He had this anarchist point of view. Again, whether it be real or not, he was still, it's still Brad Pitt. All the mannerisms that you have in a character like that, it's still Brad Pitt. And can you hate Brad Pitt? No, of course not. Tyler Durden was, just from the dirty, cool clothes that he wore to those fucking washboard abs. He was the whole package. How could you completely hate
damn package?
That's right. How could you hate Tyler Durden? You can't. So that is why Tyler Durden is number 2 on my list.
Very good.
Nice.
Nick.
Oh, I'm up. All right. Here, I'm going to give you another Batman villain right here. This is going to be Dr. Victor Freeze. Mr. Freeze was just after a cure
Sure.
to save his wife. He was simply trying to buy time to keep his wife alive, and I think it's a noble cause. What did it justify freezing half of Gotham? I don't know, but he certainly had a good heart, cold as it may have been. But at the end of the day, he was just trying.
He was just trying to Walt Disney her ass.
He was trying to save his wife's life and buy time till he could find a cure for her disease. So I think Dr. Victor Freeze, Mr. Freeze, had some pretty good motives. And while I think, yes, he is a villain, I don't think he was necessarily a bad guy. So, and also he was portrayed by Arnold Schwarzenegger in a horrible movie. But I mean, it's hard to hate anybody that Arnold Schwarzenegger ever portrayed. Yes, agreed.
Just misunderstood.
Yeah. That's right. It wasn't just because of the accent either. Yeah, just misunderstood. No. Brian.
Yeah, and the villains we've talked about this before, but the villains that you can relate to, you understand their point of view, takes them to a whole other level where you sort of see their motives, right? And one that certainly fits that bill Magneto from the X-Men here. So yeah, you can understand his point of view, right? The humans they don't trust us. They're never going to trust us. Don't let them fool you. We have to rise up against the humans before they rise up against us. And you can understand that, where he believes that and is able to recruit others to his cause. So he's not necessarily an evil guy. I don't think he's just trying to create chaos for the sake of creating chaos.
Going about things the wrong way.
The wrong way. But in his mind, I think he's protecting his own kind. So you can certainly understand that point of view. So,
it's kill or be killed. And quite honestly, if you feel like they're coming for you, then
kill them all.
And you're a mutant. You have superpowers. So look,
right.
I mean,
it's relatively easy for you.
It's like having a black belt, but if someone's threatening your life, it's like you're gonna enact the self-defense, right? I mean, it's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it my fault it's a toddler doing it? No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my black belt to defend myself.
Like if Thanos came to Earth, I'd be the nicest person in the world to Thanos, because guess what? Yeah. He can kill me if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that,
I'm not going to go after him just because he's different. That's not fair.
Nutsack Kin really kind of does it for me. So,
yep. So Meg, the comic iterations are good. The animated is good. Every iteration is good, but I certainly enjoyed the English guy Michael Fassbender in the movie who played him. I'm kidding. I know he's not English. We talked about that for the next James Bond. We couldn't. Yeah, I kept saying.
Figure out his nationality, and he's picking other people of different. He's got to be English. That's why it should be the Australian Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
or the quote unquote English guy, Michael Fassbender.
Is clearly German not an or something.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite bits ever. Because it was like everybody was like, "No, he's not English," and then the next person was up. Somebody who was not English.
He sounds English.
He looks English, right?
Close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he's not American. I know that. So he's basically English. He's from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, my turn.
Yes.
All right, I'm going for a tag team here. I'm going to cheat a little bit, but once I tell you
boys.
This, not quite, but they are very personable.
I've always thought it was suitable for Devon to get the tables. I agreed with what they were doing.
May Young deserved being put through that table, really, if you think about it. She was asking for it. No, my tag team is Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, Samuel L. Jackson was, you knew him, but he was not like the star that he is. John Travolta had been gone for many years.
Mhm.
This kind of like put them both on the map and back on the map. And they were hitmen. They were killers. That's what they were, that's what they were paid to do. But both of them, normally when you have a team like that, you have one of the characters that's kind of likable, one that's, no, they both were likable fellas. You definitely could see yourself having a burger and a shake with either of the two.
Mhm.
So to me, even whatever, 10, 12, 13 years old, however I was when that movie came out, I just enjoyed them. I didn't see them necessarily as the bad guys. Then you go up and go, oh, they were actually killers. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So Jules and Vincent from Pulp Fiction, next on my list.
Mhm.
Nice. Very good. Okay. Next up on my list, I've got another one here from the comic realm. Killmonger from Black Panther.
Mhm.
One of the things that I loved about Black Panther, and I'm speaking off the movie, I really, was not aware how much I would like that character before that movie came out, so I didn't read many of the comics. But at least in the movie and Michael B. Jordan's portrayal of him, you saw his backstory, you saw what happened, you saw what he saw growing up in Southern California, and how he was just kind of left on his own, and he became an extremist, and how he wanted to use the the weapons and the technology and everything that Wakanda had to serve the youth of America that looked like him and was underprivileged, and wasn't getting the resources they need. And it, even through, he was such an extremist, and he was so kind of militant about the way he went about things. In that movie, you never felt like he was a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, you understood where he was coming from. It was a very humanizing way to look at a villain, even though he was clearly in the wrong and not going about things in the way that, like with the nobility that T'Challa was, or, the people of Wakanda. You understood where he was coming from and why he felt the way that he did. And so I just another facet of that movie that I loved and thought was perfect. Even the bad guy wasn't totally a bad, like, he was relatable. There was humanity in his story, and you understood where the kid inside him was coming from with what he'd been through. So Eric Killmonger is one for me as well.
Perfect.
Very good. Excellent.
Brian?
Hannibal Lecter,
Hmm.
the great Anthony
Interesting.
Hopkins. So is certainly a very creepy villain, but
Sure.
I can't. The performance was so good by Anthony Hopkins. I think he won an Academy Award for that, I believe. Right. So
Yeah, I think so.
just such a very interesting and creepy character. I looked forward to every scene that he was in, especially the interactions with Jodie Foster. Just some of the best. In a thriller, those scenes are some of the best you're ever going to see between two stellar, actors in their own right. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just played so well together. He was so creepy, and you found yourself kind of rooting for him at the end of the movie when he escapes, and he's going to go after the psychiatrist in the jail and kill him. You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to follow him. He's going to kill him and eat him. And you're like, all right,
And
guy's going to get what he deserves. You know what I mean? So that's it.
All right.
picture it this way: if he was your professor in college,
Mm-hmm.
he would be very very personable. You know what I mean? Like, he would be, if you didn't know he ate people and murdered people, he would be very interesting.
Oh, you fucking pay attention.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
he
you
had
a 2-hour lecture.
Captivating.
You're listening.
captivating.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah, well, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm listening. Whatever it is. Yeah.
absolutely
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah. Yep. Great performance. Great villain. Likable to me.
Absolutely.
sure.
Yep.
All right, the next one for me is simply the ghost with the most. It's Beetlejuice.
Mm,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice was the bad guy. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. You almost
that's true.
forget he was the villain, but
Right.
he was. Yeah.
he tried to steal a teenage girl and marry her and take her into the afterlife.
I mean, I don't see why Dean would see that as a villain. That's what he's always trying to do with Jenna Ortega. So I don't really.
First of all, you leave Jenna Ortega's name out your mouth.
Wednesday season 2 coming soon. By the way, Wednesday season 2 coming
And
soon.
then,
Dean will
and
be
then
coming as well.
Yeah, ready.
Underage.
we'll allow it.
Yeah, how
Beetlejuice-
old was she in that movie? Like 17 or 18? He's like,
who?
Winona Ryder,
it's
you
just
mean?
a weird
Winona
scene.
Ryder.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah,
she was
Beetlejuice.
supposed to be no. She was supposed to be like only like 15.
Yeah,
She was in like high school.
She was older and playing younger.
Oh yeah. I'm sure the actress herself was like.
Yeah.
in her
I know
20s.
you're 18, but
Yeah.
for the sake of this, we're gonna say you're 14.
Well,
Mm.
I mean,
That'll make it better.
how it works. But yeah, he tried to steal a teenage girl.
Yeah.
He threw Othos down the stairs. He sent that couple up through the goddamn ceiling. Probably killed it, I have to assume. So like he was the villain, but come on,
Yep.
it was fucking Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton, he was great. He was funny. He was everything you need him to be.
I know.
Yeah.
Sidebar. I think we talked about it at the time but like I just watched that movie for the first time this year, like this Halloween.
Wow.
This past Halloween, first time I've ever seen it, and I was like, I get it. Like I get why, because there's some things that there's so much hype around, and then you're like, you finally see it, and you're like, I guess you just had to be there, or like
Sure.
it's just because culturally it was a thing then, and it's carried
Right.
through.
Watched
But
it
I
young,
found it.
so
I
you
found
know,
it very enjoyable watching it for the first time ever
Yeah.
in October of 2024. Like I thought it was fantastic. A lot of
absolutely.
fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Nikolai.
Oh, am I up again? Okay, next villain. You might watch this movie, this cinematic masterpiece, and assume that all the primary characters are really good guys because it's fun, it's hilarious, and it's a fun adventure movie. But in fact, in Jingle All the Way, make no mistake, Sinbad's character, Myron Larrabee, is not a good guy. He's literally like assaulting people and chasing children while on the job with people's mail. And he's not a good guy.
That's a federal offense. First
It
of all.
sure is.
Let's start there.
And if that ain't chasing a kid up a tower and fucking
And then
trying to
and then knocking the guy out and stealing his suit for the parade.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he
a
actually
lot of
kidnapped him.
offenses
He tied him up with like Christmas wreath and stuff, and like stole his outfit. Like Myron Larrabee, 1,000% is a villain. He
I thought he
tries.
was going to go Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, but
No, Howard Langston, Father of the Year material.
He did some shady shit too, though. let's not lie.
He did,
Let's not lie.
but I come back, Myron Larrabee.
All
While
right.
he is a criminal in this story, at the end of the day, was he acting insane and completely irreprehensible, like terrible behavior, like indefensible? However, purely out of the love of his child, he was literally doing all this for the simple fact, as he mentioned in the diner, he is scarred as a child from not getting the thing that he wanted for Christmas. His father always let him down. There was one thing he really wanted, and he was so hooked on that from his childhood that he did not want to let his son down by not having a Turbo Man for him on Christmas. So, even though, yes, he was a villain, yes, there is no defense of the things that he did in the real world, out of sheer love and the wish of a happy Christmas for his one and only son, I respect the hustle that he was willing to go to any lengths just to put a smile on his kid's face for one Christmas morning. And that, I would say, makes Myron Larrabee a likable villain, at least in that respect.
You just gave the closing argument for every person in the 1980s that beat the shit out of somebody for a Cabbage Patch Kid.
I mean, I wasn't there for that, but that or Beanie Babies. You know, if
Beanie
you
Babies.
thought assaulting someone in a Kmart for a Beanie Baby was going to pay for your kid's college and give them a better future, I applaud you. You were wrong, but in that moment, I applaud you.
Very good.
I rest my case. Myron Larrabee is an innocent man.
Your Honor, I rest my case.
Brian, what's up next for you?
Brian, you may proceed.
Big fan of the series The Walking Dead. As you guys know, I watched every season of that, like 11 or 12 seasons, whatever it was. Really enjoyed that. That was like must-see TV for me for several years. And the stories continue and offshoots, including this character now has a separate series that the new episodes will be coming out, I think, next week, if I'm not mistaken. Portrayed brilliantly on the small screen by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who I just enjoy as an actor to begin with.
Yeah,
Negan on The Walking Dead here. So the character, this is the guy that has the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. That was his weapon of choice. Although he brutally killed some of the most popular characters from the original series, including Glenn, who was like just a huge shock one of the seasons there. But as you learn more about him, he was he was a married man. He lost his wife, and he just really was trying to protect his people. He was the leader. He had an unorthodox way to do it, kind of a brutal sense of leadership and everything. But just the way Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the way he portrayed him, it's just like, I hate this guy, but I kind of like this guy at the same time. It's just, I don't want to like him because he's a real asshole, but he's so cool. Like you said, he always wore the black motorcycle jacket and the bat and everything. Just a cool demeanor about him. The character did have a positive arc, and he tried to redeem himself and everything. So all that was fine, but just a great villain by a great actor. Look and everything was great. I portrayed him a couple Halloweens back in the day. If using, I tell you what, just even going out to bars and all that, I was pretty popular. Yes, I'll leave it at that. I was pretty popular. People wanted to get photos and everything else, and people wanted me to get pictures like I'm batting them over the head and everything. I had people kneeling down in front of me to get pictures like I'm bashing them over the head and everything. Pretty good stuff, a lot of fun. So
I heard multiple times people saying, "I'd like for you to get in my walking bed."
Yep.
I was just over there yelling, "I want you to bang me with that bat."
Yeah. Forget your fist.
The power of a Halloween costume sometimes, it's really pretty amazing. If I really had my mindset right, it could have been, I mean, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it there. It could have been some very interesting occasions wearing that costume.
Brian would have been laying some pipe.
Yeah.
Laying some bat.
Talking.
If you will. Yeah.
I dressed up as Nick one year for Halloween. Now I'm not allowed around elementary schools.
We already told you, get away from here.
I didn't know that would be the consequence. It was very shocking.
No, you can't be on PTA. Get the fuck out.
Very sad. All right,
Dean.
Gentlemen, my last one. Well, he is probably the worst of all of these villains we've talked about. He did horrible things in life and in death. He is Freddy Krueger.
No, sure.
Did so many horrible things to children when he was alive, and then they killed him, and then he continued to get in teenagers' dreams and killed them. He violently and maliciously murdered Johnny Depp, and that's not okay.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
But
He was funny.
he sure was funny. He was a he was a cut up.
Yes.
So
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah.
AIDS, how
Yeah.
can you
Gave you the old switcheroo.
no,
ahead.
okay. How could you be against Freddy Krueger? The answer is you can't. You can't. That's why Freddy Krueger, that lovable scamp, is last on my list.
Yeah. Robert Englund, man. And it's not even just the character, it's the Robert Englund version.
yeah.
There
You
is
can't
only
have-
one
yeah, they
version. That's it.
tried, and it's just garbage. It has
Yeah.
to be Robert Englund's
Mm-hmm.
Freddy Krueger that makes him likable, because Robert Englund himself is so likable.
Yeah. Great
Nikolai?
stuff. My high school bedroom, Dean, I had a poster
Oh yeah.
of Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger
Not
on my
in Freddy
bedroom wall.
Krueger.
Yeah.
Just the actor.
My
Kind of
actually-
headshot I had blown
Yeah,
up.
there's
I
from
had a
V.
poster-
Robert
I
Englund
had a-
from V.
Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
was from V.
No.
It was eating a fucking mouse. It was
24 by 36 poster print of a headshot.
Actually, how cool would it be to you guys seen, and Brian, this might be a pretty good thing for your basement there. Have you guys seen the picture of Robert Englund on the set of Freddy Krueger in the Freddy Krueger makeup, kind of like sitting
with a Walkman?
catering? No, what he's smoking a cigarette, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
sitting there exhausted, and he's smoking a cigarette. It's a really fucking cool picture. I think I've only seen a black and white one of it, but look it
That's
up.
good.
It might be something to
Yeah.
consider.
I'll look at
Nice.
that. That's good. That's good.
Nikolai? Last
For my
up.
final selection, I will be going with one Mr. Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad. Just like Brian kind of mentioned with the dude from Walking Dead. He wasn't. It's not like, I mean, I'm sure he did what he did and ran his empire for the benefit of the well-being of his own family and his people, and that's why anybody does anything. Money, power.
Right.
Essentially, yes. Is it self-serving? Sure, but there's also typically, if those people have family members, loved ones, anything like that, it's to not only serve themselves but create a better life or living for the ones that they care about as well. So not as much as like, oh, his motives were actually good, nothing like that. It's more of that he was so goddamn likable, and he was so straight and to the point, and just for being such a, when you first see Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, he's just this unassuming kind of dorky guy.
Sure.
And the coldness and how just militant he is about running everything, like he's just so, it's such a well-oiled machine. He's so straight and to the point, and he knows what needs to be done, and he does it without emotion, without any type of anything else going into it. And I loved that character. It just the kind of the clash of his personality with the types of things he was doing, and how he was kind of an unassuming type of guy, but still such a kingpin. And I love the characters, like you said about Jeffrey Dean Morgan, great actor, right? Like Gus Fring, like the I can't think of his name. You'll know it, guy from, what's his name? Mandalorian. You know what I'm talking about.
Pedro Pascal.
No, but
Carl
no.
Esposito,
But you know what I'm talking. Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. He's also the bad guy in the first season of The Mandalorian, and whatever that guy's name is. Great actor. He's
Giacomo Esposito, or there's
Are you
those.
just saying Hispanic names, or is that remotely true?
Those names are in his names. I might be getting the order.
I know we're paying great disrespect to him right now, but he is a fantastic actor,
John
and I love
something. Go ahead. I'll find it.
the way he pulled off that role and that character. So Gus Fring is on my list.
Giancarlo Esposito is the actor you're trying to think
I was
of.
close. I was
Yeah.
close.
Yes.
Okay, you were very close.
Yeah.
It wasn't
great
as
actor.
familiar as I expected it to be to me.
Brian.
That's it for me.
All right. Well, I mean, no one said it. I got to say it. Vader, Darth Vader. So
Sure.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Big Van Vader.
Big Van Vader was actually not a villain. If you watch him in Boy Meets World, he's the loving and doting father of Frankie.
That's true. That's true. That's what made him likable.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, certainly as a kid, the impact that Vader had on probably my entire generation, the cool factor. You know he's a bad guy, but he's looked and sounded so damn cool. It's just like you couldn't wait to get the next glimpse of Vader, to see him, to hear him. The whole thing was just so cool. Then obviously the whole story arc when you got to really learn the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader. You know, just for the love of his bride, really is what it came down to. And then and we all know the story if you're a Star Wars person at all. So Darth Vader, if you're a Star Wars fan, you can't but help like Vader on some level.
Yeah. He was another one that, like, was he still wrong in his yes, I mean, his path to the dark side was, he's kind of a spoiled brat. He, childhood trauma, whatever. Yep. They tried to right the ship. Damage was kind of done, I think, a little bit. But like you said, what ultimately led him down that path was just the fear of losing someone else close to him.
Yes.
And mom, he loved his wife. He wanted to protect the people he cared about. So, yeah, and definitely a hero in his own story, for sure.
But not a lot of people talk about it, guys. If you think about it, as strong with the Force as Anakin was, boy, was he a gullible shit. Like, he was easily manipulated. So apparently the Force has nothing to do with fucking intelligence.
Well,
you can still be duped by the elderly. So
I wouldn't call it intelligence so much as immaturity.
Okay.
You could I don't know. I think of when we see famous people
get you to do things to me if I wanted to.
I mean, you could mildly suggest them a little bit stronger than you are right now, and yeah, you could probably pull that off. But no, you look at I don't know, think of like child stars, right? Child prodigies, right? Sure. They grow up and they're like, but they're fucked up. They're not growing up like everybody else. Like they're, and they're easily duped. They're easily taken advantage of because they just grew up different. They don't have one foot on the ground and in reality. So that's kind of Anakin was a prodigy. He was taken in as a young child, and
that's all I'm saying.
Maybe, but yeah, if you've got somebody else in front of you who is also so strong in the Force and's like, hey man, I've been at this for years. I'm a vet at this. Like, I can guide you.
Okay.
How do you not follow that?
Okay. I understand that argument, but he didn't know Palpatine wielded the Force until just before the end.
Oh, that's true.
All this manipulation happened when he thought Palpatine was just a fucking rich dude. Yeah. So he was being groomed at a very young age.
Which is also not his fault.
True. That is true. But again, if you have the Force, I just expect mentally a little more out of you. That's all I'm saying.
I gotcha. Fair point.
Yeah, the scene killing the kids, that was kind of tough, but
it was tough. He looked tough as shit. He's like, little bitches, like fucking, like nut up or fucking get fucked. Like, this is it. You want to be a Jedi? You want to come to the temple? You want to be a Jedi? Well, here's the test. And guess what? They failed.
The deleted scene was he did this to at least 3 of them, and they fucking cowered.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit's fucking tough. Look who's tough, motherfucker. You
Which,
think
by the
you're
way, I
tough?
can't believe.
Your parents sent you to the Jedi Temple to learn to be a fucking Jedi? My mother was fucking enslaved and taken away. I was separated from my mother.
Mhm.
I'm tough. I grew up
My
hard.
mother
You don't know.
fucked by Mandalorians, and here I am.
My mom
By
was
the
like
way-
in a BDSM situation with fucking sand people, and I watched it. That shit hardens a motherfucker right there.
Such a bizarre scene. God. Jesus. But yeah, 20 years ago, episode 3, doing well in the theater.
Carter went and saw it. And
Yeah. Did he? Yeah, nice.
him and his buddies. And he
I
said
thought
he did.
I was like, I'd like to go see that in the theater again, but I did see it like
Yeah.
7 times when it first came out. So in the
Sure.
theater. So I was
May the 4th this weekend.
that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, any honorable mentions, guys?
To me, real quick, actually, we named the majority of them. I have 2 that wasn't named. We're going Bruce the shark from Jaws. Dude was just hungry. Dude
Was his name
just
Bruce?
hungry. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was,
yeah.
Is that why the dude from Finding Nemo's name is Bruce?
Yes, correct.
That's amazing.
Like in the script, it wasn't Bruce, but the mechanical shark that they used, they named Bruce.
That's
So.
cool. I never knew that.
And then Jack Torrance from The Shining. Not
Yeah.
a great parent.
No.
Definitely not. Probably molested his child. If you watch the movie closely, he's not a good dude. Tried to kill his wife.
Mhm.
But it's still
Villains thing as a Kevin Spacey defender.
somebody cut his mic. I don't know why he keeps talking. Jack is just a likable dude, and regardless of who he portrays, it's gonna come out, and it did with Jack Torrance.
It's
So
gonna come out all right, man.
all of your shoes. Anybody else have any honorable mentions?
Nick, do you have any?
I had written down Venom.
Before we started.
Mhm.
What's that? Hey, actually, I made adjustments on the fly because as we're talking, I thought of other things. So I do have honorable mentions. I had initially written down Venom because Eddie Brock was certainly not a bad guy. And even the symbiote was not a bad guy in its own comic and in the Lethal Protector. I mean the intent was good, but obviously when you mix that and the storyline with Spider-Man and all that stuff, he becomes the Venom the villain in the story. But Venom nor Eddie Brock were necessarily villains. So I had that written down, and then I also had initially I'd had Walter White, but from Breaking Bad, and then I thought Gus was better just because of the likability factor. Because make no mistake, Walter White is
he's not quite likable.
he's not a good person. Like you look at it and you're like, there is a part where it first takes off, like the second act for him in his life that he's now gaining this power. But as it goes on, it's like no, like he's not a good.
Misleading.
He's almost
is misleading.
Yeah.
If you think about it this way, he didn't go from like a good guy to a bad guy. No, he went from a loser to kind of a dick.
He went from a kind of a loser to kind of a I'm rooting for this guy, and then fully into like, wow, like I can't root. You know what I mean? There was a short peak where you're kind of, because of where he started from, you're kind of rooting for him, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. There is a likability factor, and then it just plummets down where you're like, man, this dude's like he's gone. Like the dude you knew is completely fucking gone. So that's why it's such an amazing show and such a brilliant character arc. But I mean that's kind of how it went. So yeah, I just had a couple extra ones written down there. But
Okay,
Brian, do you have any?
Yeah, real fast. Terminator, Schwarzenegger, the first one, just the cool factor. The whole look he had back then, and just brilliantly played by Schwarzenegger back then. Yep. Very little lines, but all memorable, fantastic.
Was a villain, then wasn't.
That's right. And then another relatable villain, kinda. You see his point of view, Thanos, Josh Brolin, Thanos in the Avengers movies.
I did have him as my honorable mention. I thought Nick mentioned him at least earlier.
I did mention him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Thanos is on my honorable mentions as well.
Sure. Very good. Just thought he was trying to help the universe by cutting down resource usage. You understand it. Wrong way to do it. But you certainly understand it.
Sure.
So,
is there ever a right way to do it? You know what I mean?
No.
Sometimes you just pull the plug.
I mean, you could think of a lot of different ways in this world, and for a very long time, but I don't think you rarely can ever come up with the right way to kill half the population in the universe.
That's right.
All right, good stuff. Knocked out our lists here, our honorable mentions. So, I think that about wraps it up for us this week. So, I didn't get to say it.
That we are.
That's right. I didn't get to say it off the top, so I'm going to tell you now. I'm sure somebody covered that grounds already, but if you have not already done so, be sure to find us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots Linktree. I almost said word tree, and that's not right, but we're celebrating tonight, so I'm allowed to make mistakes. It is a Linktree. Type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, and you can follow all those links to all our social media accounts. You can also go to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. Don't forget to check out the merch store. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast. Each and every week you can listen to us and all of our fucking immense wisdom. So this has been episode 239 of Convincing Idiots. I am Millennial Nick.
Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you to come back and celebrate with us in a future episode of Convincing Idiots?
Go Leafs.
Go Leafs, go!
Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're going to want to.